Brian Rifkin from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We're here in Grapevine, Texas at ASDIN 2025. Dalia?
Dalia Dawood from Riverside, California, and today we have the pleasure and the honor of introducing and interviewing a legend of our subspecialty. He is the founding father of the intervention nephrology. He is the founding father of ASDIN as an institution and organization. It's with great honor would like to introduce Dr. Beathard.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Beathard, you do need an introduction, and I think I'm quite sure when you look through the room and see all of those members, you know that you're the big factor for all of us to exist as a society, as subspecialty. I actually was talking to my intern yesterday, and I was telling him that it's the same feeling. It's just when you sit next to Dr. Beathard, you cannot believe that this is the same man that you reference. He has hundreds of publications in your manuscript. So it's a pleasure to have you today, and I would like to ask you to give us how this is all started.
Well, I think it started the way many things did. I had a question. I can remember very distinctly a patient that we had on dialysis. There was a young man, and he actually became somewhat of a favorite of ours because of his situation, his family, and this sort of thing. And I remember one day he was having trouble with his dialysis access. And I remember staring at his arm and his access and wondering what in the world is going on here. I had no idea whatsoever. And shortly thereafter, I went to a meeting, and someone presented a paper dealing with venous angioplasty. And this was in about 1985, and I think that first paper was written in about 1982 and involved 5 cases of venous angioplasty, 2 of which were dialysis access. Arterial angioplasty had been done prior to that. The first arterial angioplasty done in the United States was in 1978, done at Emory, coronary artery angioplasty. So arterial angioplasty being done, but venous was not. And I was very fascinated by what I heard and the results that they saw. And I decided, because our dialysis unit where I was working was just across the hallway from the radiology department, that a patient having problems with their dialysis access, I would take them across the hall with the dialysis needles in place and shoot some contrast and take just a plain film, and I began to see these stenotic lesions. And that's where I became aware that this was the problem and that perhaps there was a solution for that, and I became interested in pursuing that solution.
Wonderful. So that's for starting the interventional nephrology as a subspecialty. What about laying the foundation for ASDIN as an organization?
Well, we began to, from what I just described, I began to do some angioplasties, and there was a problem that came up. Medicare sent out a mass mailing that suggested to me that they were going to stop paying for the procedures. So I called a physician who represented our group in Washington and told him about this, and I said, you know, we need to talk to Medicare about this because they may stop paying for it. He said, well, I'm not sure that that's of any value. I've not heard of doing that before. And I said, well, it is of value. He said, let me do some checking. And And so he called me back 2 days later, and he said, I talked to a couple of nephrologists, 2 or 3 radiologists, and 2 or 3 vascular surgeons, and none of them had ever heard of doing angioplasty on dialysis access, and they doubted that it was any value. And I said, well, I've been doing it, and it is of value. I've seen that it is valued. He said, you need to write a paper. So I wrote a paper, and it was published, and I began to have people call me wanting to come join me to train. And I began to train people. And one of the people that I trained was Jack Work, who was originally at LSU, and then he went to Emory. Steve Ash was doing peritoneal dialysis using a peritoneoscopy technique. And then Chuck O'Neill was also doing ultrasound on the kidney. So here were 4 people, myself included, that were interested in something that was different, something that advanced nephrology. And we were at a meeting in Memphis, Tennessee, and went to a bar. and as often the case, good things can happen sometimes in a bar. We got to talking, and we decided that we should start a society of interventional nephrology, and we wanted to call it the American Society of Interventional Nephrology. And Chuck O'Neill said, well, we need to include ultrasound. We need to call it the American Society of Diagnostic and Interventional Nephrology. And so we formed this society, and the next year we had a meeting, and we probably had maybe 20 people at the meeting. The group from Arizona, Don Schoen, for example, was very much involved, and it kind of took off from there. And I think a lot of these things that start, somebody maybe like myself maybe pointed to and say, this was the father of interventional nephrology, or the father of the society, and it's kind of misleading because it's kind of like a relay race. Someone may start off, but then they hand the baton to someone else and someone else.
Yes.
And before long, you have a number of people running, and it's a group effort.
Yes.
And that's certainly what happened here.
Yes. It's just the case that you, I think, the first one who took the patient across the hall, injected a contrast through their dialysis needle. So that's what is really made you and the father of interventional nephrology. But of course, we will not, this will not take away from so many nephrologists and so many interventional radiologists and even surgeons who contributed and participated to get ASDIN where we are today, right?
I think what you say is exactly correct, and I don't think we can minimize at all the tremendous contributions that radiologists have made, like Scott Teratola, for example, and surgeons like Tip Jennings, Dr. John Ross, and surgeons like that made tremendous contributions to what we now call interventional nephrology, and are continuing to do so.
Absolutely. Brian?
So, Dr. Beathard, always good to speak with you. I enjoy your sense of humor. I enjoy all your talks. You have a very long and storied career. That involves things from writing papers, teaching, training innumerable number of people who do interventions. Do you have a favorite aspect that you do? And you do interventions yourself. You're still doing interventions. Is there something that you really enjoy about being an interventional nephrologist?
I enjoy teaching. I really, my parents were school teachers, and I grew up in a rural area of Texas. I went, until I was in the 9th grade, I went to a 2-teacher school. I still remember my teachers' names from that school, Mama and Daddy. My mother taught the first 4 grades, my father taught the first grade, the second 4 grades. And so I come from from a background of teaching. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy the interaction with other people. I enjoy seeing the enthusiasm that people that I'm teaching have whenever they suddenly realize this is something they can do, this is something that they can get involved with, and it's just makes it worthwhile.
Creates quite a legacy.
Yes.
Yes. Talia?
So it's a very long journey for you, Dr. Beathard, from the day you injected that contrast in the dialysis needle. How interventional nephrology and ASDIN has impacted your life?
Oh my goodness, it's impacted it in a major way. I was telling my wife on one occasion, I used to go to the American Society of Nephrology meeting, and I was really rather bored because I would be there for several days, and I might see one person that I knew, but they didn't know me. I felt more or less isolated. Now I go to national meetings like this meeting, and I see so many people that I know and they know me, and that I consider to be good friends. And to me, that is so gratifying to be able to know people in different parts of the country, different countries, and be able to call them friends.
Have you ever visioned ASDIN make it to where we are today when you started all of this?
No, no, not at all. And you know, whenever I first started having people come wanting to train with me, I didn't ever envision the explosion that would occur. And you know, now it's, I guess, the intervention, what we call interventional nephrology, is being done all over the world. Interesting enough, in March I'm going to Nepal to help teach a course in interventional nephrology in Kathmandu, where they don't do interventional nephrology, but they're interested in doing it. And so the fact that I've been able to contribute to medical activities in other countries is extremely gratifying. I don't think there's no way I would have ever had that opportunity had it not been for interventional nephrology.
It's inspiring to see how many lives you have impacted, because you trained the trainers. Mm-hmm. You trained all trainers, I guess. So thinking of many patients has been impacted with that subspecialties that you started when you injected that contrast that day. I think this hole you crossed shouldn't be marked in the history because if you did not cross that hole and decided to inject this contrast that day, we would not be here.
It literally impacted millions.
Yes, well, actually millions around the world. It's true. It's millions around the world.
That's very, and you know, I think the important aspect of all of it is the patient. You know, I can think back before we started doing what we do, a loss of dialysis access was, I think, the third leading cause of death in the dialysis patient. If it was not, it was certainly a significant cause of death in the dialysis patient. Today, loss of vascular access is not even on the list, I don't think, of causes of death.
No.
And so I think interventional nephrology, the specialty that we call interventional nephrology, has really made a big difference for the dialysis patient. I'm at the point that I'm somewhat of the opinion that we might ought to stop calling it interventional nephrology.
Oh,
in fact,
okay.
Because, you know, we're seeing interventional radiologists. We're also seeing vascular surgeons that are spending their entire career taking care of dialysis access. And they're doing the same thing that the nephrologist is doing. So really, we see three specialties. We see surgeons, we see nephrologists, we see interventional radiologists doing these procedures. That perhaps we've reached a time where we might better change the name of what we're doing to dialysis vascular access rather than interventional nephrology.
Well, we will be the first one to get this release from the father of interventional nephrology, is that he would like to change it to dialysis access care. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So, okay. So, Brian.
So we just had our 20th anniversary. We were in New Orleans. What would you like to see happen at our 40th anniversary?
Well, I would like to be on the program.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that I will be. But I'm hoping that this society and this specialty will continue to grow and to continue to expand and continue to attract the caliber of people that we have involved in it. And I would hope that it just becomes a standard.
Well, definitely you're going to be on every program, Dr. Beathard. It's an honor to just sit next to you, actually. And as an interventional nephrologist who's been doing this for almost 10 years, I just want to really express my gratitude for you have done for that subspecialty, for the society. And we just wish that your contribution, and I don't know if our audience know, but Dr. Beathard actually still doing procedures, and one of his colleagues this morning, he was telling me that Dr. Beathard go to the access center every day at 7 o'clock. He was telling me we arrive late and we feel embarrassed, and I was like, that is the founding father of the interventional nephrology. It's just an example for dedication and unlimited given to our society. Brian?
Yes. And again, thank you for all you do. It's basically 3 degrees everybody's removed from you. So I never trained with you, but my partner trained with somebody who trained with you, and so that came to me. And so we really owe you a big debt for all the education you've done over the years.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Beathard, we want to conclude our interview by you giving the audience from our members today a statement. What would you like to tell the members who's attending our meeting today, and all the members of ASDIN?
Well, I would like to emphasize the importance of the work that they're doing for dialysis patients, and I'd also like to make a point that from my own personal experience, and I'm now 85 years old, you never outgrow your need for a mentor. I think you should identify mentors that you can identify with and utilize them. You'll never outgrow them. I still have mentors that I greatly value, and I don't know where I'd be without those that have taught, advised, and guided me in what I do.
Thank you, Dr. Beathard, and you are the best mentor for all of us, even when you don't train us, just by looking at your legacy and history. Thank you so much for joining us today, and definitely this is not the last interview for Dr. Beathard, because I really don't want to conclude it. We cannot get enough, but definitely we'll have more of Dr. Beathard through the meeting, and thank you. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you.